welcome to Majik Monday. Women are here to empower others who are struggling and can't find the energy, the courage, and the knowledge to move forward in their lives. Hello, I'm Glenda Kroll, and I am a business and life strategist coach. And I am seeing so many women today that at some point don't have the confidence, the courage, and the energy to move forward over the hurdles in their life and are basically just calling it quits. I'm asking women to tell their stories on how they have moved forward on their lives and the struggles that they have encountered. And what I'm hoping from this is that other people will be able to pull that courage and knowledge and maybe those little bit of nuggets and help them move forward in their lives. So today, my first interview is with Roz King, who is an esthetician and now a beauty and life coach and helping other women moving forward. So welcome, Roz.
Thank you, Glenda.
So let's begin. Tell me a little bit about your background and we'll just move from that point.
All right. I am originally from England. I trained in England back in the day. I was 17 and my mother was a hairdresser, and I loved doing people's nails and massage and things like that. And I went to school in London, England, and I learned everything. And then I met a Canadian and he said, come to Canada. So at 20 years old, off I came. And the rest is history. I've been here for 42 years almost, and I have been an esthetician my whole life. That's what it feels like.
So did you go from starting off to score right to the top? Like, was life that smooth?
No. Well, when you're 17 and 18, you think that's it. You're gonna open up your own salon, and you think you know everything. Well, I got a job in a lovely spa in England, and then when I came to Canada, my first job was at Glendas, which was the spa in the city, and I learnt, and all the girls I worked with, I learnt from. There was a Japanese girl and there was a Polish girl, and we were from all over the world, and we gave each other nuggets, and the sharing was really good. Plus, we kept going on education and learning, and then I had children.
And that's one of the biggest struggles in life. We all know, because I have two at this point. I say I survived. I should be putting a t-shirt on. I survived teenagehood. So yes, having kids is another whole story, which is a struggle, because a woman making it through, and we see a lot of this, is women trying to balance between working and kids, and whether it's out of the house. I know at one point I moved my business into my house because there was nothing worse than having a sick kid at home.
I did the same thing.
And how do you work outside your home when your kid is stuck at home by themselves? And
well, it was
right?
the same thing. In order to earn money and your children are little, I ended up, while the kids were having their afternoon nap, I was doing manicures and pedicures in my kitchen. And then it kind of grew, and then I finished the basement, and I used to have people come and do their waxing and their facials and body massage. So I worked like 2 hours a day. And then as the kids got a little older, before I had my third and then a fourth, I grew and grew, and then taking the kids to day programs, you meet other people, and the next thing you know, I ended up opening up my own salon because of the networking and starting out in my home.
so doing this through that, was it an easy strive? Like, how did you find getting money to do working in this?
Very hard. I, at the time, went to the bank and I did get a business loan, but 30 years ago, it was a little easier than it is now. And then I just grew and grew, and I was going through a divorce, and I sold my business so I could be home again with my children, because they needed me, and I guess I really needed them too. And I moved my business back into my home, so if God forbid they needed me, I was always there. My biggest problem with having children, being and running a business and making money, because you have to, was one day one of my neighbors came to me, if you want to know the truth, and her name was Susan, and her son Noah and my son Paul were at the same program together, and there was a thing on in the afternoon. They were only like 2.5 at the time, or 3. And after, I couldn't go because I had to do this client. And this girlfriend of mine, Susan, came to me and said, Rosin, I have to tell you, you were the only mom not there. And your son had to sit on one lap and my son sat on the other. And I felt so guilty. So as a mother who is working full time, the guilt of that situation absolutely destroys you. Absolutely. So for somebody who was fortunate enough to have their own business, I was able then, that was one of my moments, saying, okay, when my kids have something, I will not book a client. However, if you're in the corporate world, or you're working in a bank, or there's certain things, you can't just say, sorry, I'm not coming in. So that's a challenge in itself.
So when you found those type of challenges, what helped you move you forward to get through that, to get rid of the guilt, dealing with the child who also feels crushed because they don't have their parent around? It's sort of a cycler type of problem right there, right?
For me, at that time, and I don't know how this is going to come off to other mums who don't have that luxury, and I know it's extremely hard. I had that luxury at that time to put my kid first, and it is a luxury. However, that week I would not have earned the same amount of money, so guess what, kids? Might be craft dinner for a few more days. That was the trade-off. When you're self-employed, it's completely different.
So it's teaching your kids, and I know myself through my parents had a store. They had drapery stores in those years, and my parents were very straight with us. This is a good week or this is a good month, and you can have some extras in life. And then there weren't such good months or weeks. You learn there were cutbacks, and I don't really, as a child, remember such, like, it wasn't that life was terrible. It was kind of sort of realistic. So you learned that
and it just was part of life. That
right?
was yeah, it's true.
So there's the thing about a lot of, I see nowadays when I'm talking to my clients and dealing with them, it's just like, well, I can't tell my kids that, and I'm sort of bewildered because why can't you tell your children that? Like,
well, you're teaching them.
What are you teaching them?
Yeah, and if you start protecting them in certain ways, then when they are faced with it, they might not know.
So, and that's what I find.
Yeah.
Now I'm at a different point. My children are no longer children; they're adults. And the life stories of, I didn't have wealth to pass them over. Yes, they always had a home, they've always had a meal, same as I did. And I know your home, that you are, a cook. So how do you handle, let's go into another section, when you're going through stressful times. Another thing about being a working mom is handling all that stress. How do you handle the stress?
Oof.
So you're not
without copious amounts of wine. How do you do it? You know what? You just do. You don't even think about. Well, I didn't. I used to go to work, and I would come home, and it's like my mother, home cooked meal on the table. Didn't even think to order in, except maybe if on a Friday night, and they had a ton of friends. I got 4 boys, by the way, big lads. you just do. All of a sudden, one day you know, you come home from work, one's got to go to the dentist and one's got some kind of practice and the other one is learning to play the guitar, and you got to change hats. One walks in, hey ma, what's this? And the next thing you know, you're talking to one way. I've got one who's just finished a PhD and one that's in not.
So it's a matter of, but it's constantly a juggle, as any of us know that have kids, but it's also being able to deal with yourself. So, you know, when you have that struggle that you're going through in yourself, the last thing that I learned at a very early time when I was going through struggles is I had to learn how to deal with my struggles in my own way, because the last thing I really wanted to do was put it out to my kids. I didn't want my kids feeling what I was feeling. You know, like when you're going through things and they're at different ages, you know, we don't give our kids enough credit. It's crazy, but they are so in tuned to us.
But that's why we have girlfriends. Because when you've got little kids, there's a lot of, you don't need to be showing them that you want to sit in a corner and cry.
Right.
They just want mom, you know. No, I think girlfriends, women have the innate ability to help, listen, and guide. Now, everybody has their own story. So sometimes you might tell me something, and then I've got my own take on it because something happened to me that was similar, but it's not you. So really, women, if you talk and you share, you will get little nuggets from somewhere that you'll go, oh. But if you don't share and you don't sit, you could end up just being so overwhelmed and then you fall apart.
And that's exactly why we're doing Majik Mondays, because it's about time that we start sharing. And you know what? There's a lot of people. I'll just share a brief, small little snippet of a story. I brought in a new client last week, and I was talking with her, and she's going through some really trying times right now in her home. And she's trying to figure out whether she is staying in her relationship or she is leaving her relationship. And I, as a life coach, I don't encourage either way. I give her an exercise to do so she can make up her mind what is best for her. I'm guiding. I'm not giving you answers. You need to find them within yourself. So one of the questions I did ask her is, do you have any girlfriends? Because I know in my life too, my biggest ways of making it through a lot of my things in my life was my girlfriends. Like, yeah. I had some really incredible friends that I could share and work with, and she had no girlfriends. And it's a very, and this is what brought me to Majik Mondays.
Yeah.
Is because if you don't have people to hear you out and share and talk to, you are in a little cocoon, and that's when nervous breakdowns start. That's when people are getting hit with cancers, because it's all this stress that you're ingesting. So part of all of this, you know, there's so many different segments of why I wanted to do this. I really, in my heart, believe that we have to help each other, because there's not enough. People are just seem to be, it's all about them. And it's not. It's like my life becomes fuller when I can share.
Me too, which is why I'm doing what I do now.
Right.
But I've always done it, and I didn't realize I was always doing it. But it's true.
Okay, but there are so many people out there that are so isolated, and the one beautiful thing about now with Facebook Live and social media, and I know there's pros and cons to everything in our life, right? But the really huge pro is that we can go out and we can touch other people's lives, and maybe through this we can reach out and we can help somebody to encourage their life. Do you agree with me out there? Like, I see I've got some people that are out there. Give me some love. Give me some, let me know, is this how other people are feeling? Is life, is it about to be on your own and look after yourself? Or is it about sharing and trying to enrich somebody else's life and give them a little bit of a hand? Like, isn't that what we're born for?
Yeah. So, okay, so when it comes to coaching, 8 years ago, I mean, after being an esthetician, I've been an esthetician now for 44 years, and I've morphed into doing everything to totally skincare over the years. That is my niche. That is like it for me, and I love it. I love the education. I love, but all of a sudden, sharing, I'll be sat doing a manicure, and my client would be giving me, oh, this happened or that happened, what should I do, and this, and the next thing you know, you're guiding, you're saying, well, you know, if this is how you're feeling and you want to get there, and let's do this, and all of a sudden it became apparent what I was doing. It's like a coach. I mean, when I'm talking like a hockey coach, a tennis coach, or whatever. You need somebody sometimes to help you through the muddle. And once you start, like I was going to call my business clarity coaching. Well, but mine, I'm as opposed to the clarity of, I mean, what does clarity mean? So you have your broad niche and mine now, because I got clarity. Because I am so good at what I do, and I love educating people with skincare and the beauty from within. And I am now a beauty coach, because I am a beauty therapist, beauty from the inside out, and helping people, but sharing, absolutely sharing is key to, because the stress will kill you.
That's exactly it. And that's what it's all about. So, you know, with Majik Mondays, it's about sharing stories. It's about giving some golden nuggets. It's about, you know, meeting some different people out there. Maybe through my interviews that you see somebody that resonates with you, you would like to connect with, somebody that you feel that, you know, it's all with, there's just that little bit of chemistry that connects you with somebody that makes you feel comfortable.
But it's true, because I work on the general public, and that's, in my profession, you have to really like to kind of be that close with someone. So I've made over the years an amazing business, and I've made some amazing friends, and I now changed everything into, I now go into people's homes to do their facials in the comfort of their own home. So therefore, as we're talking or whatever they feel like, if they want to talk, it's strictly confidential and private.
Absolutely.
As opposed to being in a salon, and sometimes walls have ears, but also on top of that, they're getting their facial in their own home. I'm coaching them through skincare, but then it goes deeper. And there's nobody actually out there doing skincare in your home right now. And I'm the kind of person, as you are, when I give a recipe, I don't leave the half a teaspoon out. I give the full thing.
I love that
and
analogy.
even if I get nothing from it. It's not about me. I love to give. I love to teach. I love to educate. I'm a giver.
And that's what it's supposed to.
Right.
Like I grew up. That's what I was always taught to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know any other way.
Right, and it also has to come from inside, like who and what you really are. You know, you can fake it.
Absolutely,
We
which
can
we all
do.
know. Yeah, absolutely.
But no, it's like just to let people know, Glenda and I were talking about workshops on helping and educating women. But it wasn't a workshop to sell anything. It's a workshop really to educate people on what I do, and educate people on what Glenda does, a 15-20 minute live talk, so women can get together and then network and talk themselves. Because that's what it's all about, is people helping people.
It's building.
That's what we're doing.
Right. So it's building other people. Like there's, you know, nothing worse than when you see somebody broken. But nothing better when you see actually a broken person who has come back to life again, right?
Pleasure. Yeah.
It's really is truly a blessing in our lives.
Well, I became a team leader at Weight Watchers for that reason as well, because I've done all this stuff, and say, way to go, yay.
Absolutely, because you know what? We know how hard it is to change our life and to put some, to like, you, especially as myself, all through my life, it's always been about dieting and exercising.
Because we're women.
And, well, not all women do that to themselves.
They put themselves second.
Right. So it's one of the other things. So, let me ask you is, how do you put yourself for boys? How do you put yourself up there? Do you?
Well, I didn't for a long time, and I found that I was empty, but I didn't realize it. And you get tired, you get depressed, you think, and you don't know why. And all of a sudden, over the years of learning, when they say put the mask on yourself first,
right.
I get it. And my saving grace when the kids were little and I was working and full time and was my bath time at night. Night boys, they went to bed and I ran a bath and I just and I recharged. But also as we get a little older, you do have to start being good to yourself. And also you have to, as women, you have to learn to receive. Most of us are givers. We give and give and give, and it's very hard for us to receive. But if you're empty because you've given so much, how are you going to replenish? And it's okay to allow somebody else to give without the guilt or whatever. But it was very hard for me. And I'm through my coaching, learning how really not great I was feeling. And I would sit back in the bath and go, oh, wouldn't it be nice to be like this or have this or that? And all of a sudden I have these aha moments, and it's through my coaching and learning and being with you and you realize, okay, now what are the steps to get me there? Like, okay, Rosalind, stop feeling sorry for yourself. You obviously want to change, or else you wouldn't have even thought about it, because ignorance is bliss.
True, very true.
So
everybody should be listening to this one. Go ahead.
But I'm here and I'm going, oh, well, whatever is my issue. And all of a sudden, I take time and I figure it out, and that's where I want to be. And that's why we need someone to guide us. Even in skincare, I've got one client who was just at a wit's end, and people listen to the television and, oh, have beautiful skin in like 48 hours. Like, well, anyway, okay, if that's what how do I use it? When do I use it? No one's educating these people. So whether it's something from Shoppers Drug Mart, or whether it's from Holt Renfrew, or if it's from a spa that you can only get an esthetician and you don't want to go spend hundreds of dollars, I want to do that for someone. And that's how you look after yourself, by the education.
So tell us, how do we find you and how do people get educated by you?
Well,
because let me just sort of put it in, Roz is actually one of the top estheticians in Toronto, and that's where we're right now at, and I'm hoping that people who watch this, even on the replay, will let me know where you're watching this from. And hello, don't forget about sending us a little bit of love through the ways as well. Please tell us how we can find you.
I'm not the esthetician that has big red long nails, and I don't wear a lot of makeup, and I'm a jeans and a t-shirt girl, so you're not going to meet me and say, oh, why doesn't she have this? Anyway, where can you get me? You can get me, I have a website, Roz's Place, ROZS place.ca. I have a coaching website, which is rozking.com. And all the information is there. And call me, text me, and we'll chat. I'll even have a coffee with you.
Perfect. So we're bringing this to you. It's called Majik Mondays. It's going to be coming every Monday. I'll be interviewing a different lady each week and listen to their story, and maybe you can find a little golden nugget or a tidbit that can help you move your life forward. Help maybe give you the courage, like Roz made it through the years of 4 boys. in and out. Yeah, we've few
gone
relationships.
there.
We've all even gone there. That's another story. That's another interview. We can do that one. Yeah, no problem. And that's the whole thing. People's relationships, business, everything is changing all the time. And you're not alone. That's why I'm doing this. You're not alone, and nobody should be alone. It's a world out there, and it's a small world, and we need to be reaching out. I do a lot of my coaching on Skype, on Zoom meetings. There's so many ways now to touch base with people. You don't need to be, right there.
So can I just butt in?
Absolutely.
So we were supposed to get together when that snowstorm happened last week. Was it last week? Yeah. Last week, the week before. It was really bad. Yeah. And I was about to go out, and it was and we had this meeting for our workshop and blah, 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 blah. Couldn't make it, and I'm going, oh no. Do you know what? We FaceTimed for an hour. It was like we were in each other's room. It was great. So you don't need, even though physical is nice, you don't need sometimes physical.
But being that where you can actually connect by seeing somebody, by seeing their face, by feeling them, because a conversation on a phone is not quite enough. So having that connection where you can see each other and talk to so coaching can be done at any place, anytime. If I'm around wherever, and I do go to the US or wherever, I do actually do one-on-ones with people, but there's more ways to get it done and to work at it. So, Majik Mondays is somewhere, it's all about touching base, listening to somebody else's story.
Yeah.
Pulling some energy from it, pulling maybe a tidbit that's going to help you to move your life forward, something that will give you that someone that you might connect to, that you want to connect to, that will help you when you need to go through that obstacle that you're going through. We've been through it. It's not just about reading from books. The whole thing about myself, and I know even from Roz, we're both very much the same. We've been through so much through our lives. So when we tell you we know how you're feeling, trust me, we've been through it. We know what you're feeling.
And if I don't, and I've not gone through, then I will guide you to someone who can talk from the heart and authority. Because I will not tell you about things or tell you what to do when I've not gone through them. I just won't do that.
And that's, fair enough, because that's what it's all about. We're here to help you and to create that harmony in your life, because you deserve it. So I am going to be saying thank you so very much, Roz,
my pleasure.
For interviewing with me today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
It was just an absolute pleasure. And I thank you all for watching. And for those who watch the replays, please reach out. I will put some information down on Roz's contacts as well as my own. And, give us comments. Tell us what you're looking for. Give us some type of information that you want to hear and receive. I've got lots of ladies lined up to be hearing their stories, some incredible stories, some amazing women. It's just incredible what we've all been through in our life. So I'm telling you, when you feel that you're by yourself and you're going through something and you think nobody else has, trust me, they already have. And that's what it's all about. So we can build you, and you don't have to go. Nobody should go through anything in life by themselves. So I thank you so very much. It was an absolute pleasure being here. Thank you for allowing us to come into your sacred space. And from my heart to yours, I thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday. And I hope that I can make it magic for you. Take care, and thank you so much. Bye.